Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the past decade, the Hanabila have made a beautiful comeback. But in the process, many who feared exposure kind of tried to find another home, a home where they can continue with their nonsense and spreading their fabrications. Several of those individuals came to the Shafi'i school, while the majority of them came due to the uproar of the Hanabila within. Others came after coming to the reality that the path that they are on is empty. The people that they follow are foolish, and the methodology that they uphold is gibberish. However, when they came, they did not adhere to our rules and principles. No. Instead, they promoted their old ideas. They tampered with the basics of what makes a person a Shafi'i. And then they claimed in public and in secret that only they are the true Shafi'i. Some of them used arguments of theology. Others used methods of tampering with many of the basics and the principles that have been agreed upon within the Shafi'i school. From the theology side, that one's pretty obvious. The Shafi'iyya are Asha'ira. All the way back to Imam al-Shafi'i himself. What al-Shafi'i promoted is what we would call Ash'ari. It's a tomato type of difference. Potato. The basics in the sound chains of narration to Shafi'i himself is the same exact things that Abu al-Hasan said. It's the same thing that the Ash'ira afterwards said. It's the same thing that the Shafi'iyya have stated. Now, those who come from these other ideologies and creeds, they use their blind following of certain individuals that caused chaos in their movements. They used the same language, the same lies and fabrications to promote their own ideology and creed between the students of the Shafi'i madhab. The same nonsense, like Ibn Surayj warned against the Asha'ira, which is a pure fabrication. Al-Karji said this and said that, and again, these things don't even exist to begin with before year 700. Does not exist. It's not any book of history except year 700. Magically, it came. Things that do not exist. Think about that for a minute. Use common sense. Never existed before year 700. And where'd it come from? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Quick, last minute tawbas, right? Ah, fulan made tawbah. Ah, fulan made tawbah. Ah, fulan made tawbah. And when we present a written document of one of their team members making tawbah, they're like, no. This was under torture. So they believe fabrications, and they have excuses for that which is stamped, sealed, documented with tens of witnesses. So that's kind of convenient, right? So then you'll see Fulan, Illan, they'll mention a concept, a creed. They won't mention where they actually got it from. No. Because if they mention that, then they're exposed. No. They act like they're explaining something that Al-Muzani said, or something that Al-Sabuni said. Even though these books are 100% Ash'ari. 100%. No. They'll go and explain it the same way that their old gang explains it. Negating their own claims about what Shafi'i supposedly actually said. Because they are not Shafi'i. They are innovators. These are like viruses trying to take over our school. Beware. They lie and they do not care. Most students are too young in ilm to actually grasp what is taking place. But all it takes is 10 seconds of one of these people's lectures or classes. 10 seconds. And the lies are so many. Personally, I can't even finish to the 15th second. And then you have some of them that tamper with it, tamper with the madhab, fiqh-wise. And this comes in two different methods. The first method is to tamper with general concepts. You know, things like, oh, the muta'akhirin do not care about the mutaqaddimin. Oh, the muta'akhirin, they don't follow the mutaqaddimin. Nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's lies and nonsense, and the youngsters, they fall for it. They think that this is acceptable. They're lies. Why are they lying? Why do they say this? So that way they can come the following day, and this is exactly what they've done, and come and say, oh, you know, everyone that came after Nawawi, they had no idea what they were talking about. And they left the mutaqaddimin and blind followed Nawawi. I'll tell you like it is. So basically, to a certain extent, he's about to make himself in the same status of a Nawawi, but without saying that he's in the same status of a Nawawi. It's a game, ikhwan. That's how they played their game before. They're playing it again. And you might think, Ya Muhibbuddin, right now you're just speculating. No, I'm not. They've actually said it. I've had to write responses to several of them because of this nonsense. And they'll come and they'll write these long articles. Oh, look at this mistake by Nawawi and the Rafi'i. And you actually examine the mas'ala, there's no mistake. There's no mistake at all. It's that individual who is playing around with the words. But what he's claiming is non-existent. Another method is to claim that a certain understanding happened by mistake, and no one says this. Like they'll come and say, using or stating your intention verbally, oh, this is a mistake, a misunderstanding by Abu Abdullah Zubayri. No, it's not. No, that was never the case. Abu Abdullah Zubayri said it's wajib. They told him, no, you're wrong, it's not wajib. That was the mistake. That was the mistake of Zubayri, but they don't care because they have an agenda. And this supports their agenda. So therefore, they will continue down that path, and they do not care because it supports what they want to do. Now, in order to save yourself from these types of tampering and innovation in our madhab, ask questions, research, explore. And naming names is not an issue. Whoever needs more examples, they're free to ask me and I'm happy to answer. But the point is not about naming names. It's about being aware of your surroundings, being vigilant. Understand what's being said. Understand how to protect yourself and protect your family and protect your children. Nas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-ismah.